the Dufia of Abuntia Hotel in the Volta region of Ghana, Togbe Charlie IV, advises the general public, especially the parent, to desist from the attitude of stigmatizing against people with mental health issues. The Reverend Traditional Ruler made this statement at the Forum on Mental Health at Accra City Hotel on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023.
Are following faster than ever. And it's really, taking a lot out of our production capability. Because nowadays, no young guy wants to sweat to produce, but they are on social media creating unnecessary video and creating online accounts. Every now and then they go to bank and take their money, knowing nothing about production. So, with the stigma, I am even of the view that really build the strong cultural fiber that we have in Africa. For instance, if your parents had...
Now, what I love to tell people more than anything, you would consider me probably a psychologist. What I like to say is I am an expert in tools and techniques. My focus is on feelings because I have learned that how you feel controls how you think. And how you think determines how you behave. And unfortunately, so many of us are disconnected from our feelings, which means then that we are disconnected from how we show up, which means that our mental wellness is challenged all of the time, and we don't understand why that is.
I am Sally Tope, founder for Africa Women Reinvented, and we bring to you today Dr. Spirit live in Ghana.
So why Dr. Spirit? When we have a lot of doctor to look at some of the challenges we go through when it comes to mental health.
Well, Dr. Spirit because Africa Women Reinvented is dedicated to bridging the gap between Black women and all Black American women and all Black women or women of Black descent. And when you look at what we have in Ghana at the moment is our doors and gates are open to bring our sisters and brothers home. And one of the reasons why we are working with Dr. Spirit is we have a gap between our mental health education, mental health delivery, and Ghana needs to bridge those gaps. So whilst we bridge the gap between African American women and all women of Black descent, this is the time to connect, collaborate with each other, and such interventions are needed. That is why we would definitely work with Dr. Spirit.
So what are your expectations tonight?
Tonight is just a beautiful open forum. It is unconventional. This is something that we've not really had. A dialogue is not a teaching per se, but she's also looking at learning from our perspective as Ghanaians. She's also wanting to see how she can assist us with all the different levels of communication when it comes to mental health. So we are open to listening to all the diverse responses and different opinions about mental health. So today we are just open, to understand what she brings to us and what she also takes home with her.
So when you are talking about mental health, what is the understanding of mental health, especially Ghana compared to the Western world?
So I will make a typical example for when we talk about people are not okay. When someone says that I'm not okay, I'm tired. A typical Ghanaian would tell you, oh, you're not the only one who is not okay. Everyone is not okay. And that alone tells you how unadapted we are to how people feel. People's feelings are taken for granted, and we do not really see between people's opinion on how they feel and communicating how they feel. We just think you have to be okay, you just have to be well. And then if you tell someone I am not well, then it starts to spring out. That is just the simple base I would want to start connecting from. But mental health is about the state of health with our mindset, with our brain. And so from that level, I can say that in Ghana, we do not really have much going on when it comes to mental health. This is something we need to now pay attention to. Post-COVID, everybody has been tried and tested because we had to stay home, adapted to new things, new challenges. Our children, we are facing like a lot of difficulties in terms of going to work. And our normal day or regular days for work and everything else is charged, very charged. And anxiety sets in, depression sets in. All of these are symptoms of possible mental, unwellness, if I should put it that way. And so we are looking at bridging the gap and learning new streams, how to leverage new things, just so we can do better in communicating on mental health. So Dr. Spirit today, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, is here to help us get educated. But at the same time, she wants to listen and understand what we have in our communities so we can bridge the gap between us and the other worlds.
So what do you look out to see after tonight's event as an organizer?
As the founder for African Women Reinvented, my focus really is to bring such interventions, collaborate with like-minded people, just so we can have interventions for our people. So beyond tonight, I'm looking forward to we working more in fine-tuning whatever information that we gather so we can make that available to our communities and see how healing start to take place, because without this we would not know where to go next.
Your last message for every community living with the people with mental health?
Well, mine is I am appreciative of the fact, first of all, that everyone made time to come and have this dialogue. And one thing is we should be even more open to understanding and receiving an exchange of information beyond today, and understanding the different streams of communication when it comes to mental health. So beyond today, we will still be in the communities, we'll still find interventions, and I'm looking forward for everyone's inclusion and participation.
Hello, my name is Keith Beauchamp. I am a producer, director, writer, and a producer of the film that is out right now, Till. I come by way of the USA, Brooklyn, New York, to be exact. And I'm here today, invited by, of course, African Women Reinvented, and of course, Sally Torpey, as well as Spirit, who's a good friend of mine, who I met on the set of one of my movies. And I was asked to come and assist and produce a documentary on the work that she's doing in the mental health field.
So how do you see the mental health, what's it called?
Crisis.
What do you think we can maybe to do right to avoid the stigma and to correct some certain mistakes?
Well, in terms of the United States, we're dealing with the same issue. Mental health crisis, as you can see, is all around the world right now. But in particular, as Black people, as African people, we're finally coming around and understanding the need of getting help for mental health. And so what I'm seeing here after witnessing the last couple of days is that there's a stigma about those who are suffering from the mental health crisis, but it also transitioned to those of us in the United States as well. So for me, I think the wonderful work that Sally and Spirit is doing is needed, but it may take some time because we're talking about a transgenerational issue that may take a generation or two to recognize and to deal with. One of the things that I discovered just along the way for the last couple of days that I've been here, this stigma has permeated so deeply in us that we don't simply acknowledge the problem. And before you are able to actually tackle an issue, it's very important that you establish what that issue is, what is the problem, and begin to come back.
All right. So I said you are in charge of the documentary, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about it. How do you manage to get that all this information?
Well, again, there's the stigma overwhelming stigma that we see that's permeated not only here in Africa, but throughout the United States and possibly the African diaspora around the world. And visibly, I think people need to see the issue at hand to understand the problem. If you know any of my work, most of my work, I deal with issues that I like to put in your face. And I truly believe that we're a see and touch generation, and it takes things for us to see them, to understand that they exist, to begin to combat the issue at hand.
So how do you think this program is going to go a long way to really impact life positively?
I'm very positive about what's happening right here. I mean, this is only one of many I know that will take place here. Hopefully, when I come back to Ghana, I'll see more and more people at these events. But tonight is a very intimate setting. We're getting a feel of the audience. The audience members are comfortable. They're standing up, speaking about the issue. So it's great to see that many are identifying the problem and are open to talk about it, because only when we're facing this issue head on and talking about the problem that we can end up figuring out a remedy to change, what is happening around. Again, not just in Ghana, the country, because I don't want to just say this, this is all happening in Ghana. No, we're experiencing it around the world, and that's something that we have to be aware of.
So please, your full name again.
My full name is Keith Andre Beauchamp. I'm actually got a little roots here in Ghana. It's my first time in Africa, and so I'm very happy to be here and to learn some of it. How do I see Ghana? It was overwhelming just getting out the plane here. Those of us who are of African American descent, many of us dream to come to Africa to see what the motherland is about and how we actually came along, because without Ghana, and of course, unfortunately, the transatlantic slave trade, I wouldn't even exist. And so coming here and to reconnect with my ancestry, learning more about the culture, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to coming back.
My name is Peter Adade, representing African Diaspora Collective on behalf of the Ambassador, Her Excellency Devisha L. Johnson. And it's a great opportunity to be here this evening to be at the African Women Reunite program. And I believe their goals are aligned to African Diaspora Collective, getting connected and having people all over the world with a Black African descent collaborating, investing together and promoting Africa. African Diaspora Collective, our main goals are to develop Africa economically, socially, and also have investors who are in the diasporas and all around the world with their descent in Africa come back to develop Africa. So with this program initiated, I believe it can help, and I believe most Africans or diaspora people have a little bit of mental stigma, illness stigma, whereas when they come around, it's like they feel a little bit discriminating, or they feel that they are different, or they could make them a little bit different from we, the ordinary Africans. But with this event and these programs as such on board, it's going to help with the collaboration, and also women on board is going to help us all together, investment, collaboration from women all around the world to support and grow Africa.